All right. Good morning, everyone. How we doing? Good morning. Good morning. Happy Monday. Let's get that set up. All right. Looks like we have some 10 a.m. data this morning. NQ. So I got the open here. We'll have a slight gap lower this morning. You can see that there was a pretty big move lower during the overnight sesh. About 1.5% from the Sunday night open. And price nearly tested that 25K area of support. See a lot of support through here. Pretty close to 25K right through there. Heavy support through here, heavy support through here. Prior resistance, right? Here's where we're at. And so for this morning, essentially, how I'm treating this, if you read yesterday's newsletter, the weekly candle, still treating this like sideways range. The question today is whether we're going to consider this a test of the intermediate term range support zone, or if we're going to expect price to show a true test into 25K, maybe an undercut of 25K. And for that, what I'm going to be looking at is how price responds essentially to prior day low right through here. This zone right through here. If sellers continue to defend this point, I'll look for price to test down into that 375 400 area and then go for the overnight low. And then if that fails, of course, 25K is down beneath. Near term structure, obviously bearish, right? Is pointing down. If sellers fail to defend this area, if we see a move up and through prior day low with acceptance above, price holds above prior day low, be looking for 700, this area up through here, and then potentially up into prior day high where the last week volume point of control currently sits. So that's the game plan for this morning. We have a neutral bearish backdrop. And we're going to have an open in a pretty decent spot here. So let's see what this looks like. Here comes the open, 7 seconds. Remember the game plan for today is just to follow our rules, respect our process, look for that easy money trade, look for that A plus opportunity, execute accordingly, right? And move on with our day. Strong push here off the open, NQ into 600. So back in a prior day's range. Haven't seen a strong open like that in quite a while. Very small overnight gap has been filled already. And we're just shy of overnight high at 645. See if we get a retest down it back into that prior day low, 570 area. Fresh highs. Comes overnight high 645. What a push. What a push. There's 650. So a little look above overnight high. We'll see if that's an up thrust in the making here. Up thruster. So far, it looks like it. Yep, yep. Not a whole lot I can do right here unless we see a retest into that 575, 570 area. So far, we know higher time frame support pretty much holding. You have ES pretty strong this morning as well. Check on YM. YM the same. YM's actually almost into prior day high. And RTY strong as well. There's our NQ, a little pullback there into session volume point of control, 600 area. Now back into highs. Now watching overnight high, 645. Nearest reference point. And NASDAQ into the January volume point of control. That's 150 points so far off the open. Ripping. So it starts to open up a bit more here above 700. It's nonstop. May not get an entry. Let's see if this pulls in a little bit more here. Keep an eye on that overnight high. Below average volume, past 5 minutes. Yeah, we do have that 10 a.m. data print. And fresh highs right there. Opening 15-minute bar is about to close. Big bullish bar. Volume still below average here, but just a little consolidation near 25,700. Personally, no entries. Still cash this morning. Staying patient right now. If we get a retest into that overnight high area, I'd be interested in that 650 area. Fresh highs, fresh highs. A little consolidation right there, maybe breaking higher. Dave cut the open with the long. Nice work. Nicely done. Looking at new prop firms. What do you have so far? What do you currently use? Apex and Lucid. I'd go with TPT or Tradeify. Next up, Take Profit Trader, my personal favorite for their payout structure. No consistency rule, no minimum days, true daily payouts. And then Tradeify is also rock solid, very similar to Lucid. NASDAQ, another leg higher right there. 10 minutes till 10 a.m. This thing's a runaway train. Pretty much vertical so far this morning. Like I said, no entry on my end. Staying patient. Personally, can't buy the highs. Can't chase the highs, so got to wait for a proper entry. Next upside target there, prior day high area. Last week's volume point of control sits at about 880. See what ES is doing. ES is up into prior day high as well. ES actually gave a little bit of a foothold right there, a little bit of an entry at the overnight high. That looks pretty good. Should have been watching that. It's pretty nice. Do, 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 do. And I believe we have some data at 10 a.m. That's going to be manufacturing data coming out at 10. Oh, Dave, that's great, man. Heck yeah, love that. Love to hear that. Less is more. That's real proof right there that less is more. Fewer trades, better results. Well done, man. Keep it up. That's great. 5 minutes to 10. We'll see if we get a entry post 10 a.m. Nasdaq pretty much right back into the middle of that range here. Overnight showed a test of support. Yeah, daily kind of paints the clearest picture. Dave, for TPT, use code Opinicus. I think it should work for Tradeify as well. Here, I'll type it out in the chat. That'll get you whatever the best current deal is. All right, Nasdaq pulling in a little bit. I want to see this data print in 90 seconds. And we'll kind of see what kind of intraday structure we have to work with. Just keeping an eye on this zone's a little bit wide to be setting risk against, but keeping an eye on the reaction through here, see what kind of structure builds. And then also ES, you may want to keep an eye on that overnight high as well. But data in 1 minute. So at the very least, let's wait for that data print. Take it from there. How's the morning for everyone so far? Anyone trading yet? Or staying patient? What's the vibe out there? 15 seconds till data. All right, there's data. Take a little blip higher. Okay, looks like a nothing burger print. Nothing berg. Pratik, we're looking at 570. Yeah, that is way down there now. Jeff, chase the push, 0 for 1. It's a good lesson. It's a good lesson right there. Never chase. It's not worth it. FOMO will kill you. So volume's below average, pretty much 90% of the morning there. And Q retesting the highs. Hmm. It's maybe a trade the afternoon kind of day. So we had on Friday as well. Friday's chop all morning. And then finally in the afternoon, you had some really nice tests there. The overnight low. I think it was prior day low. Yeah, prior day low. Notice how the volume came in during that afternoon sesh on Friday. The morning was just garbage. It's one way in which you can use volume filter to kind of help you out. So far this morning, below average volume. NQ kind of in no man's land here. There's fresh highs. 25, 8, 10. ES is up into prior day high already. Currently testing prior day high. That ES move. Yeah, this thing is just nonstop, nonstop buying on low volume. Let's see what. Yeah, that was just a pullback into the shallow fib there at 10 a.m. and then fresh highs. Lockout rally. Locked out. Cash, 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 cash all day. 45 minutes into the sesh, no trades, low volume, looking more and more like a no trade morning. NASDAQ, that next area of resistance up into prior day high, coming into last week's volume point of control now. Look at that move. Getting there now. Almost at a 25,900, 25,875 currently. No FOMO, no FOMO. No chasing. What a rally. What a rally. Nicole got a trade in ES off prior day high. Nice. Nice. ES into 7K now. ES has a little bit better volume this morning. I like this pullback if it gave a little more depth there. Would have tried that. It's within my playbook, but did not quite get there. So we're just chilling. Can't force it. Can't force anything. Cannot force trades. Cannot take subpar quality opportunities just because you want some action on the day. Benny, you looking at 900 zone? Yeah, we're there, man. We're there. It's that next area of resistance. Straight vertical move. And coming into prior day high. Let's check the daily again. Look at that daily. Wow. Pratik, I remember it used to be tough early on, but not so much anymore. Yeah, I'm with you there. Yeah, being able to stay patient in trading, it feels unproductive if you're not putting on any trades, feels like you're wasting the session, wasting the day. But this is a game that is highly process oriented if you want to have long-term sustainable results. So the reality is that as traders, we do not get paid for the time spent at the screen like a normal, most typical career paths. You get paid for your time. In this, we get paid to identify asymmetrical opportunities, and if those opportunities don't present themselves, then the job, the job is to actually do nothing. So if you don't have a setup and you're doing nothing as a trader, then you are doing your job. That's the reality of it. That is the reality. Yeah, just looking at this chart, that there's not an entry within my playbook on Nasdaq so far today. That alone makes it easier to not have any FOMO at all. It's the only reason you should have FOMO is if you actually had a setup and then you missed it or you passed on it for one reason or another. But if you had no setup, then what do you have FOMO for? Unless you're long from 130 overnight low, 180, Benny. What are you talking about, man? Overnight low, 180. Next upside area is right into, I mean, it's real close to the current one, but 26K by 2650, right through there. Just about 1 hour into the session, 5 more minutes till that next 30-minute bar closes. What's your opinion on typical liquidity sweep strategies? Sweep strategies. I like them. I like them. The sweeper. I like the sweeps. All right, so a little rejection there. You gotta love PTG zones, baby. Gotta love those zones. Let's see what sort of depth we get with this pullback. Pulling in a bit more. Look at the shape of that 15-minute. Big shooting star on the 15-minute. So can that show any follow through? Can we get a move through that 15-minute low right there? Let's see. Next few minutes should tell us. Do you have any background before getting into trading, like degrees and stuff? Yeah, I got my bachelor's. Not related to trading, but yeah, went to school. I don't think there's any formal education that's really gonna set you up for trading, at least from traditional institutions, personally. Let's see, ES into prior day high. It's a pretty good reference point. We'll see if that holds. Let's see what we're looking at as far as fibs on NASDAQ. Where's that 50? So the fib buy zone right near the current session volume point of control, right into the upper portion of this blue zone right here. That could be interesting if price can get back down in there. Could be interesting. Right as of right now, just absorbed right there. Statistics. Yeah, stats may help you if you want to go the quant route. Personally, I don't think there is any degree that is going to set you up for discretionary trading. Personal opinion. Thing about trading is once you have an edge, once you actually have a strategy that works, then trading is going to basically introduce you into all of the parts of yourself that you may not be familiar with. It's gonna trading's gonna force you to know yourself on a deeper level, to put it into very very simple terms. The market just holds up a mirror, and a lot of people don't like what they see. That's why they end up giving up. Very polite way of saying this, yeah. Yeah. Dom took a trade here, wasn't part of my system, so I instantly canceled it. Good, good. Gotta be in the habit of respecting the process. Jeff have to touch the fire. Yep, exactly, exactly. And for some individuals, you have to touch it repeatedly, myself included. Touching that fire, what just one time wasn't enough for me. I had to touch that thing 50 times. Just had to make sure. Is it actually gonna burn me? That first time wasn't enough, maybe that was a one-off. Let's just see again. Oh, yeah, second time. Yeah, that still hurts right there. Third time, oh, yeah, that that still hurts. Oh, man. Fun stuff. Fun stuff. Trading. Albert says, "I'm still touching it just to double check." Yeah, I understand. I understand. Eventually you'll know. You'll know. Yeah, the trader mindset's definitely an interesting one. I mean, you could be the most disciplined person, locked in on your workouts, diet, everything, and you come to the market and you'll just find that you are not disciplined at all. It's very, very strange. Very strange. It's fascinating what the prospect of loss does to a person, financial loss. Dave, hands are burnt with no feeling now. All right, so ES making a new high of day. There's a little retest prior day high. No position. That was a decent little retest there. Is typically what I like to see. No position. I'm still cash today. This might end up just being a full cash day. I'll give it a little more time here. See how it develops. But so far, this is the lockout rally, which just means it just continues to go higher with no real pullback that I can enter on. The only real pullbacks we see are this one right here around 10 a.m. and that did not have enough depth to it. I really wanted the long versus overnight high. So patience. Patience is essential right now. This next 15-minute bar is getting ready to close here in about 2.5 minutes. Potentially another shooting star. So definitely have some exhaustion that's visible up here. This area of resistance. Off of the overnight low, NQ is up almost 3%, which for the index is big. It's a big move. See that 15-minute? Let's see this closure here. Might have to check back around 1 p.m. to see if anything's available. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking right now as well. But let's at least see the next 15 minutes or so until 11 a.m. Session volume point and control shifted higher up into this structure up here. Volumes well below average. Okay, let's see if the structure cracks here. Look at that volume. It's like 40% of average. About 10 minutes till 11 a.m. So we'll see if we get a move, some sort of setup near 11, and then we'll just call it from there. Okay, cracking lower a little bit. And just absorbed right back into that structure. You have ES back in a prior day high as well. NQ gave a little uptick in volume. Very slight into the structure point right here. Sellers just not showing up. Nowhere to be found. Dark to light, ES touching major 7,000 level. Yeah, it's right near that prior day high. ES. That's 7K right through here. Take a look at the structure. Yeah, this thing's pretty much like zooming out, pretty much similar range bound, higher time frame structure as NASDAQ. Tested the January value area high just about as well as last week's value area high. Here's that right there. But ES had actually made an all-time high last week. NQ did not. That was noteworthy. Critique, what am I looking for? 800? No, I can't. I can't get involved there, man. I would need this area down through here. Alternatively, if it did continue higher, I could do something like this, right? But that's it for me. One of two scenarios. So slow. So slow now. It's a byproduct of low volume. Would I consider shorts at any point? No, I don't short. Haven't shorted in a couple of years. Long only. I like the longs. I like just keeping a narrow focus. That's what it comes down to. But let's see this next kind of 3 to 5 minutes as we get into 11 a.m. Okay, Nasdaq pulling in a bit more. How's that intraday fib looking? Let's see it. So here's the shallow fib, 23% fib retrace at 825. Dark to light 2 for 2 this morning. Nice work. Nice work. So fresh 30-minute bar opening up in 90 seconds here. All right, 30 seconds. Just looking for some sort of uptick in volume, some sort of setup we can work with around 11 a.m. No volume really coming in at all. And price right here at no man's land. So pretty strong open. Right. We talked about watching prior day low as the main area, and then if buyers could break and hold above prior day low, looking for longs. That idea panned out nicely, but as we always say, execution's a different story. There are no entries, at least that I could personally use. So if there's no entry, there is no trade. And I think I'm going to call it a morning right there. We'll keep it going in the Traders Think Tank, but not expecting any trades this morning in NASDAQ. I'll check back the afternoon session. Really looking for that volume. If you remember from Friday sesh, the morning was done on all super low, below average volume, and then we get some decent action in the afternoon. So if a similar sort of day pans out, I'll definitely be watching the afternoon sesh. But if not, no big deal. And the main locations I'm looking at are down into 700, or if price manages to break above this prior day high and then offer some sort of entry that aligns there near the prior day high, I would be interested in that as well. But that's a wrap on the day. Slow Monday. That's how it goes sometimes. It's all good. Thank you guys for your time. Hope you had a good day. We will see you tomorrow morning. Take care.